everyone, it's me. My name is Alanna and I'm a Canadian, but I live here in the UK. Recently, I was doing a bit of a tidy. I was going through all of the crap that I have accumulated over the last few years, trying to find stuff to donate, get rid of, you know how it is. And I realized that I have so many things that I brought from Canada all the way to my home here in England. And some of them are really old. So grab a seat, get cozy, put your feet up. I would like to do a little bit of a show and tell all of the weird things that I brought from Canada to England. I was kind of thinking we'll go in like reverse order. So the most recent thing to the oldest thing. Does that make sense? It doesn't really matter. We are starting here. So this is my desk. Hi, welcome. If we just maybe scooch you over a little bit. That. Let us begin here. This is the most recent old thing that I brought to the UK from Canada is this. Technically you're supposed to hang it, but where I don't want to make a hole in the wall because we rent this place, I bought like, you know how they display plates and you can like, I don't know if you can see it. It's like a plate display. I bought it so I could display this. Now this was once bright green and it has been bleached by the sun. My mom bought this for me when I first moved away from home. So this is our most recent thing and I would have been 19. So I moved away from home. I went away for college and I was living in a house off campus. I couldn't get into the dorms. There wasn't enough dorms. I was on a wait list. Doesn't really matter. So I was living in a house off campus, 19, first time living away from home, and my mom bought me this for my room. It just says free yourself. It's some girl in the grass, you know, it's a vibe. And I have taken this to every home I have lived in ever since, including this one. So if we count the college house, then I moved away again. Then I went back home. We're gonna count back home because technically it lived there with me as well. And then I moved to the first place in England, the second place in England, the third place in England, and now this place. This has lived with me in 7 different properties ever since I was 19. So this now lives on my desk in my plate holder, and I love it. And I hope it stays with me for many more years to come. Moving right along, our next thing that I brought in ascending order, I would have been 18. I have my prom outfit. Yes, I just realized this the other day. I got the whole thing. Let me show you. Okay, so welcome to a different room. How you doing? This floor is crazy creaky. So just ignore it. So first question might be, Alanna, why? Why would you pack your prom outfit to move to a foreign country? And I don't really remember why because it's been a hot minute, but I think the idea was I have never really been a dress person. And when I moved here, I thought, well, I should have like one kind of like dressy formal outfit just cause. And the only thing that I really had was my prom outfit because I don't think it really looks prom-esque. It's kind of multifaceted. Have I ever worn it since then? No. Thank you for asking. So I have the whole thing. So let's start with the main event. Now, prom to Canadians is when you are graduating high school, you're leaving high school and you're going away to college. So depending on when your birthday falls in the year, you're like 18-ish. And I would have graduated 2011? Not totally certain about that. But I will try and find some 2011 inspired prom dresses, which was absolutely not my vibe. And my mom and I went to the mall and we went to the prom dress section and I didn't like any of them. And as we were just sort of walking along, I saw this dress and I was like, this is the one. And my mom's like, are you sure this is not a prom dress? And I said, this is the one. And it was like 30 bucks. It was so cheap and I literally still have it. So this is the vibe. Can you see? It's like a peachy, pinky kind of nude color. And the bottom is this embroidered, I just thought it looked so cute and it was so different to what everybody was wearing. Now, it's not like prom is supposed to be like fairly formal. This isn't necessarily super formal. So I remember, and I still have it. This is the necklace that I bought like from Claire's. It has oxidized into this disgusting color. It wasn't originally this color. So I had this, and I think I like wrapped it around twice. So it was like that. So like a chunky necklace, and I remember I had like chunky bracelets, which I don't have anymore. And then shoes. Wow, did you just see the dust? A little bit dusty. I went for these shoes. I don't even know where. They're apostrophe, but I don't know what that means. Cute little wedges, literally the same sort of peach color. It was insane. And then I also still have the bag. This is H&M. And again, all the same sort of color scheme. This one I have used since because it's like a perfect little size, even though it's kind of falling apart. So this was my prom outfit. And yes, I did bring it to the UK. And yeah, I've never worn this again. Last I checked, it does fit, although not as loosely as it once did, but I'm not 18 anymore, all right? I'm not upset about it. But I just loved this dress so much. I have used these shoes since then because they're pretty just standard cute little wedges. And the purse and this outfit is like 13 years old. Wow, that just hit me at a different level. Time, this is unrelated to this video. I feel like time is just literally running away. I've gotten to that point. My birthday's coming up as well, so make it 14 years. It's just, everything is happening. One more moment of silence for the dress. Cute, right? Someday. Anyway, let's put this down and walk away from the existential crisis that is occurring currently. Isn't that cute? I imagine some people in the comments are gonna be like, that's so grandma, looks like a doily. Literally don't care. My next weird thing was when I was 16. So we've done 19, 18, now we're going down to 16. But that's in the other room. Let's go. Welcome back to the office. Now, when I was 16, I was in high school. I was in a lot of art classes. In Canada, the way the curriculum is set up, that you can really customize what classes you take. Literally not important. But because I was in art as an elective class, I was invited to go on a big Europe trip, which was life-changing. So I was 16. I was offered a spot on this trip. Now, for Canada, going to Europe is like a big deal. I had never been to Europe before, and being 16 and going on an international trip without my family and stuff was very, very exciting. The trip was offered to like anybody in an art class or like film and video or like any of that kind of stuff because we went to like art galleries and that sort of thing. That was like the very thin reasoning. I think the art teacher just wanted to do it. And so the excuse was like, oh, well, we'll go to museums and art galleries and stuff. Anyway, the trip was London, Paris, Barcelona, and Madrid, and then like smaller places in between kind of on the way around. And it was incredible. But the reason that we're in here is because I still have the backpack that they gave us. Now, unfortunately, I wrote my surname on it because of course I did. Isn't it cute? So this was the backpack that was given to everybody. I, of course, added a little Canada flag. I drew all over it, which seems to have mostly come off. I actually used this for travel for a long time afterwards, even with the little safety pins. But they don't allow you to travel with those anymore. So this backpack has kind of become more of a memento than a real bag. As you can see too, like this is all peeling apart. It's old, to be fair. This is approaching more 15 years old. 15-year-old backpack. I wonder if, I hope there's nothing in it. Oh, guess what? A hair elastic. But this was the first time I went to Europe the first time that I did a big trip without my family. I was very privileged. I did a lot of traveling with my family growing up. And that definitely inspired the travel bug. But this trip when I was 16 was like really eye-opening, and being able to like, a lot of the times we were just like left on our own devices, and it was like, you need to be back here at this time, and then we would just go off. And it was like the first time I'd ever really experienced that. So yes, I still have the backpack. I would have traveled to the UK when I first moved. When I first moved, yeah, that's right. This is the backpack that I would have used as my travel backpack. I have a newer one now because, as you can see, it is falling apart, and it is got holes in it. But 15 years. How time flies. Next up, in descending order or ascending, I can't remember what we decided on. This one, the backpack, was when I was 16. The next thing is when I was like 13, 12-ish to older. And that is a book series, which is down there on the floor. Follow me. Hello, Papa Squat. Oh, my knees. That's too high. Come down here. Welcome to the floor. Now, when I first moved to the UK in 2015, end of 2015, November 2015, if we're gonna get specific, books were absolutely not on my packing list. The idea of bringing a book when I first moved never occurred to me. There just wasn't any room. And recently, I want to say, not the Christmas we just had, the Christmas before, I had a real hankering to reread Harry Potter. So this is my original Harry Potter series that I started when I was 12 or 13, whenever the timing works out. I want to say 13-ish, around there. So my mom was coming to visit for Christmas, and I said, pretty please, if you could make a little bit of room in your suitcase, could you bring me some of my Harry Potters? So she brought like these, the smaller ones. And I reread those for the first time. So I've only ever read this series once when I was a kid. I've seen the movies like a million times, but I never thought to go back and read the books. I know some people do, like every year or every few years. That really didn't occur to me. But for some reason, I just had this hankering to reread them over the winter time. You know, the very wintertime movies. So mom brings the first few and I read them. And I had so much fun. I can't describe to you how nostalgic and cozy and comforting it was to reread these. So I blew through them. And then when I went back to Canada in July, I brought the rest of them and then finished reading up those over the summer into the fall. So it kind of took me like a whole year basically in between getting some of the books and whatever. And it was genuinely, honestly, so wholesome. But these are my original books. I have my name written in these, like my little Alanna penmanship. It's just, I love it. And I remember specifically, so Deathly Hallows, when this came out, my older sister went to the midnight release. Remember when that was a thing for books? I'm much younger than her, so I was already in bed because I was, you know, a kid. She went to the midnight release, and I remember waking up the next day and she had put a copy, this copy, outside my bedroom door, and I read the whole thing in 48 hours. On a side note, I don't feel like there's anything quite like this in terms of like book releases, like where people are like lining up outside at midnight and everything. I know there's like some romance fantasy stuff kind of happening that's very, very popular. I'm not part of that, so it doesn't, I don't know. I don't really know what's going on, but I see people doing it, but still not to the level of what Harry Potter was like when it came out. So these are all my original copies. That's gonna fall down. We'll put it away later. If you read Harry Potter as a kid, it was like the perfect book series for me at the perfect time. You know, I was the perfect age. And if you are like me and you read it as a kid, I would recommend rereading it. It was so fun. So wholesome. I'm just like smiling to myself while I read it. I loved it. And now they live here with me in England. All right, my butt has gone to sleep. Oh. So, what do we have after? I know something. Let's go back to the bedroom. Hello and welcome back. So, We were talking about Harry Potter. That was sort of like 13-ish onwards. This is slightly younger. And it's in here. Now, I can't show you the name because it does dox me, unfortunately. But I used to play basketball as a kid. It was one of those things my parents put me in. And I was in like a house league, this house league, basketball. And this was one of the shirts that I was given for my team, right? We were the orange team. And underneath the doxing information is a year. Would you like to see what the year is? House League 2002. So in 2002, I would have been, I mean, depending on the time of the year, 9 years old. And I still have this shirt. Now, shockingly, I was wearing this shirt until fairly recently. I remember specifically I was really into running at one point. Not so much anymore, but at one point. And I did Race for Life. I did a 5K, and then I did Race for Life the following year or the year after, and I did a 10K. And I remember specifically running around the neighborhood here in England wearing this shirt as my workout shirt, which is kind of crazy to think how big it must have been when I was 9. Uh-oh. The blue is starting to fold weird. Anyway, that's concerning. I don't know why it's doing that. But look at the size. Like, I could still work out in this. Imagine how big it was on little, 9, 10-year-old. Why? That's something new. This is like, it's like flaking off in a weird way. Anyway, 2002. How many years ago was that? I honestly dread to think. You ever just think about like aging, like in real time? This is what, 23 years old? 20? Oh my God, I have a shirt that is 23 years old. Not that I'm 23, because that feels like it just happened. No, I have an article of clothing that is 23. Anyway, let's move on. This is a workout shirt. I did work out in this until fairly recently, and then when I realized how old it was, I was like, maybe I should just not. Just hold on to it and love it. Next up, and I believe the oldest thing that I have, can you guess what it is? You're never gonna guess. I don't know why I asked. All right, so that last one was 2002, 9, 10-year-old Alanna. This one is from when I was 7, and that is my keychain. So when I was 7, we moved from one city to a different town, a small town. I wasn't super happy about it. I was 7, I was having to change schools, I was leaving behind my friends, I was gonna have to make new friends, and I think to appease me, my parents let me choose which bedroom I wanted in the house. So I got first dibs. Obviously I didn't have access to the master bedroom, but the other ones I could pick. So I picked my room, and I don't know if it was in the closet or if it was under something, but I found this Jim Beam guitar keychain, and it has been on every single one of my keychains ever since. I think when I was 7, it just looked, first off, it looked really cool. This like guitar, I didn't know what Jim Beam even was, but I was like, that is so cool. Somebody left this in the house, in my room, and so I claimed it. And I've had it ever since. So this has been just like the poster that my mom, or the paint, it's not a poster, it's not really painting, just like the artwork that my mom gave me that has been in every house since I got it. This has been on every set of keys that I've ever had since I was 7. And honestly, the day that I lose this, I will literally have a mental breakdown. When I decided I wanted to do this video, it was kind of weird, all of the things that I was finding. Like, I'm not necessarily aware how old this is on the day-to-day. This is just my keychain. But when I sat down, I was like, right, what are the old things that I still have from Canada? It was kind of crazy to me how old some of this stuff is. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you'd like to watch more, may I suggest this one? I did a cozy / spicy would you rather Canada versus the UK. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye!